Welcome. This Accela University video will cover the topic of working with the MyTask space. My name is Thomas Strauss and I will cover the following information. First, I will show you the location and format of this space. Then I will show you how to use the MyTask search feature. I will show you how the task actions work and how to use filters to optimize your efficiency when working with tasks. Let's get started. After logging into the Civic platform, you can get to the MyTask space by navigating to the Launchpad on your main menu. And under All Pages, you'll find this under Task and Activities. If it's not showing there, that's something your system administrator could configure so that it is available as needed. So I can click on that, open that particular space. I already have this pinned to my main menu. So I'll click on that. And this is what the MyTask space looks like. It's another one of the dashboards. And the layout is a little different, the format. This shows the task in a list view. And you can see on the left side there are tabs for the different types of tasks. And there are up to 5 different types of tasks you could see here. And I have workflow tasks showing at the top, then inspections, then document review, and so on, depending on whether your agency uses those features will determine whether you have those tabs enabled. Most agencies are using workflow and inspections as the typical tasks that are assigned to users. So in this case, I've got workflow task. If for some reason you wanted a different tab showing at the top, you can always go to your menu, and this is on an individual basis for each user. You could go to Menu, and then you could go down to Display Order, which would allow you to reorder the tabs so that you see the default as per your preference. So you could just change the number there as needed. And that would change the order of your tabs on the left. So the other benefit of this particular MyTask space or dashboard is that it gives you a broader view of the information surrounding these different tasks. So I am looking at the list of workflow tasks, and by default this page displays the tasks that are specifically assigned to me, similar to the task dashboard and also the task management page. And so if I want to see tasks that are arranged based on other criteria, I would need to set up either saved searches or I would use the search feature, which you'll see in just a moment. Now, if your agency uses the claim and release option, which claiming a task puts your name on the task as the person it's assigned to. Releasing will take your name off of the task. So some agencies, when a task is initially assigned, it's assigned at the department level, and it's not assigned to a specific individual. So in those cases, users go into the list of tasks and they'll claim a task that they're going to work. If they decide they're not going to work that task, they'll release it, which takes their name off of it. If you notice in this view that I'm currently showing, the assigned to staff column shows my name in each case. And so if I were to use the release, I could take my name off and it would no longer show in this list because it's no longer fits the criteria of this default filter of just tasks that are specifically assigned to me. And we'll talk more about that in just a moment. But you can see greater detail surrounding the task. You can see these columns that show the types of information. And these columns can be sorted. Each one of them shows as a link, and you can sort those by clicking on the column header. So if I wanted to sort based off of due date, I could click on due date, and I get a little arrow pointing downward so I can reverse that sort order. So it reverses that. If I click it again, it changes it back to the way it was. So you can use those columns to sort the task in various ways. And that's a little bit about the format of how each of these tabs are laid out. You have a little bit broader insight as to the details surrounding the task than you do with the task dashboard or with the task management page. So the next thing we're going to look at is the search feature that's associated with the My Task space. At the top left of this page, you can see that there is a notation, My Task Searching, and if you click on the arrow there, it will expand, and it has criteria for searching broken up into multiple sections. So this top section is simply commonly used fields for searching. It could be the record type, it could be the person it's assigned to or department that it's assigned to, it could be an address. Underneath that, you get fields associated with workflow. And you can see a number of workflow related fields such as the assigned status and the due dates and things like that. Underneath that would be fields related to inspections, and then below that would be fields related to documents. So depending on the type of task that you're searching for would likely determine which section of this search page that you would navigate to. So I could look for those that are assigned to a specific individual in my department. So in this case, I want to see all the tasks assigned to Carl. So I choose that name, submit, and now I see a couple of tasks assigned to that individual. And if I go back to my search and change that back to say current user, I can submit that, and again I'm seeing the tasks that are assigned to myself. One note about the search feature is that the best practice is if these are searches that you perform on a regular basis, it's always best to get those set up as saved searches, and your system administrator could set those up and make those available at the group level so that everyone in your group benefits from those particular filters. And there's many criteria that can be used, and there is a different video that covers how to create save searches or filters and covers some of the criteria that can be used there. So that's the search feature. The other way to search is to use your saved searches, and you can see those there. Let's take a look now at some of the actions that can be taken on the My Task space or page. As mentioned, this is a good one to use if your agency will use the claim and release buttons. And I'm going to switch my saved search here to My Department Unassigned. So with some agencies, the task initially comes in, it's not assigned to a specific individual, and maybe a supervisor performs some type of workload management and goes in and finds the unassigned task and assigns those to individuals. So if I were looking to assign these to specific individuals, and let's say I check the box for multiple tasks here, I could use the Assign button to assign all three of these unassigned tasks to an individual. Click Assign, it opens up the form. I could choose a department and user, a due date. I could access the workflow calendar if that's been set up to see what the availability looks like. And so that's an option that I could use here. So another option is that these are currently not assigned. So if I select one of these and I claim it, it's going to put my name on that particular task. Others will look at that task and they'll see that I'm currently working it. Putting my name on it does not prevent any other user from accessing the record or accessing the workflow task or even completing that particular task. And this is just really for organizational or filtering purposes. So I've selected this one and I will click the Claim button. And that task is no longer showing in this particular queue of My Department Unassigned. So if I go back to my default filter by just choosing Select, I can see that that incident status task is now showing in my list, and I can see that my name is now associated to it. If I wanted to put that back in the queue and take my name off, I can check the box and I can release, in which case it takes my name off it. That task is no longer showing in this particular queue because my default queue only shows task assigned to myself. Now if I go back to my department unassigned, I can see incident status. That task is now again showing with no one assigned to it. So that's how you can use the claim and release. And if your agency plans to use that functionality, the My Task space is a great dashboard to use for that. If you don't really use claim and release, then the My Task space may not be the one you use. Maybe you choose the task management space or the task dashboard. It's really a preference on your part. The last thing we'll note here would be the filters, which are also called saved searches. And just like the other dashboards, you're going to have filters that can be set up for this specific space, and anything that's been set up for the My Task space will also show in the task dashboard. So when I come to the task dashboard, those will also show up in this list as well as in the My Task dropdown. Those can be set up as workflow filters, inspection filters, and so on. Now, the other important point to note here is that under menu, each individual user can create their own filters by going to menu and then save searches. And this will show all of the filters that are there or save searches, and by clicking new you can access the tool that allows you to create that, which is not part of this video, but there are other videos that talk about creating filters. And so those can be set up here, and if you create your own filter or save search, it not only shows up here in this dropdown, it will show up on your task dashboard dropdown as well. It'll show up in both places. So those are some things to be aware of with filters. And so that concludes the instruction for the My Task space. You should now know how to access the My Task space and use the search feature. You understand how the task actions and filters work as well. I hope you found this information helpful, and thank you for watching.